It can be difficult for people to openly discuss their mental health due to stereotypes about mental health, which is due to mental health being linked with crime and murder, for example, killing, which is commonly portrayed in films and the media and newspapers. This can also then affect future job prospects. If somebody, acknowledges they've got mental health problems, it can be difficult for them to even go up the hierarchy within jobs and also within education, university places, for example. Also, in some faiths and, in Islam as well, there can be sometimes the association of mental health being linked with evil spirits. And then people are then worried about other people's perceptions on them and on mental health, and also on judging them as well.
Talking about mental health sometimes brings different thoughts up in people's minds. And speaking as a middle-aged male, I know that men have had a particular difficulty in being honest with themselves and then with the people around them. So I think the whole question of mental health needs for us to continue highlighting, needs to continue engaging with, and also giving really good examples out there of the outcomes that you can possibly have if you are a little bit more ready to share, if you are ready to seek help and to go on a more positive line in life. You don't need to keep suffering. So if you are a middle-aged guy out there just struggling a little bit, seek help, reach out. There's lots of people out there who want to help you.
Well, mental health always is a challenge for people. It is considered a stigma. Traditionally, in my community, in my country back home, I'm from India, people don't openly talk about mental health. Physical health is considered an illness, but not mental. The awareness is coming gradually, but for a number of years, people haven't seen, it's not usual to see a psychiatrist. People would only go and see a psychiatrist if their mental health is severe. So anxiety, depression, many a times are almost non-existent. People are just taught, to deal with it, to man up. And many a times it's considered, weakness to express if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling worried, if you can't cope with anything. I think things are changing, but there's still a lot to change.
I think really shame probably is the main thing. Just as someone with a mental health disorder diagnosed, I know that for me, not sharing it was because I felt ashamed. I felt like people would judge me or wouldn't understand. And also just that maybe I was attention seeking as well. So I think a lot of people feel that if they share something like that about themselves, it makes them weak or appear weak. So yeah, that's certainly from my experience, that's why I didn't share for a long time.
Main of the reasons is basically the person that's suffering doesn't know they've got mental health issues. That's the biggest thing. When I was in 2019, I was going through the problems. I didn't know. I just became very, very withdrawn. So I didn't know I had the problem. Once I realised it was a relief, because I knew what the issue was. And a lot of it is because people are scared, because mental health is not only one thing. I have PTSD, anxiety, depression. So there's three things there which you can't really pigeonhole. You can individually you can pigeonhole them, but altogether it's a melting. Again, it is a total melting pot. Some days I've made a promise to myself that I'm not going to try and commit suicide again. But I go to bed at night time sometimes, not wanting to wake up. Just wish that, I don't want to wake up in the morning. But there's no rhyme nor reason for it. There is no rhyme, and that's the scary thing.